Hey there, I'm here today with Martha Shanks of Fairway Mortgage. Good day to you all. As a center of influence and helping people make smart financial decisions, one of the biggest questions that I often get is how am I going to create income? Because we all have two phases to our financial wellness plan. That's accumulating things, and then we have to distribute the assets that we've acquired into income. In California, one of the biggest assets many times that people have is their home, and they don't want to leave their home. They're trying to figure out how to create income. So Martha Shanks is an expert in the reverse mortgage industry with Fairway Mortgage. And thanks for being here today, Martha. I appreciate it.
Sure, thank you. I enjoyed this. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're very welcome. I wanted to first off ask you, why did you dedicate, your practice to being a reverse mortgage specialist?
So first of all, I am with Fairway Mortgage, and I have been in the mortgage business since 2005. And during that time, I focused on refinances and purchases, conventional loans, jumbo, FHA, all sorts of loans. About 3 years ago, I began my interest in research into reverse, and honestly, I just fell in love with it. I love the way that it helped my seniors, and I decided to dedicate kind of my ongoing mortgage business to it. And so now I devote 100% of my time to reverse. So it's been a wonderful journey. And one of my superpowers actually is I do a lot of comparison. So when people that are 62 plus come to me, I compare that forward mortgage, that conventional mortgage with a reverse, and I can share with them through software. This is what it looks like. You can look like this in 10 years, or you can look like this in 10 years. So kind of give them that added, that added benefit of having done that much work on the other side, on the conventional side.
So you're able to compare what would it look like if I did a conventional loan as opposed to a reverse.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned superpower. One of your other superpowers is I don't know how you got the email that I was wearing red today, but we both. Hey, in my business, I've seen where sometimes you utter the words reverse mortgage, people kind of cringe. What are some of the most common objections or misconceptions that people might have about reverse mortgages?
So there are a few, and the one thing that I always try and say to people up front is one of the biggest threats to retirement is that we are all living longer, right? So we have to be able to stretch out this stretch out our income, which is kind of what you were talking about up front. It's a strain on our resources. I have a 93-year-old mother that is still going strong, and an 85-year-old mother-in-law. And so we're just in that process. And reverse ends up being a tool in our toolbox that can help financial planners and can help borrowers and clients to help extend that. So one of the biggest things we see is people are concerned about losing their equity, because the prior world was you got to have that mortgage burning party or get rid of that mortgage, or they could lose their house. So it's kind of lost. And what we say to people is you got to look at it slightly differently, and that is you're trading that equity for cash. And so when you take a look at that equity, it looks like this, right? It's worthless. There is nothing you can do with that equity versus turning it into cash, which is this. And that allows you to do things like buy groceries, fix that roof, have an experience with your grandchild. So one of the things that we love about the reverse is switching it up on people and letting them have access to this to be able to do what they need to do or want to do. Key benefit is that it's tax-free, right? So unlike that 401k or IRA or other taxable items that you might have with your financial planner, we can pull, and the financial planner can help you pull that money tax-free. The next thing we get is it's expensive, right? So why do we pay so much? So the FHA product in particular does have mortgage insurance, but I view it as like the Swiss Army knife of products, right? So when we take a look at this, and this is how we start, is we say, okay, this is what we used to use in our earlier times, as we all know, which we can buy now for $30 or $40 on eBay, versus our iPhone that costs upwards of $1,000. What do you get with your iPhone? You get a whole lot more functionality. And that's what we get with this. You can eliminate your mortgage payment, or you can make it an optional payment. You can have a line of credit that's growing that you can use, or you can just get a monthly payment every month from the reverse mortgage. Probably the most powerful thing that you can do is you can have what we call a HECM for purchase, which means you can buy a house with a HECM, with a reverse mortgage. All of this can be done and you don't owe anything until a year after you leave the home. Okay, so all the benefits of this product outweigh what that cost is, and we can show you how that can work. Again, tax-free funds. The next thing, and this is probably kind of strong, but stealing from our heirs, like we're taking their inheritance away. But one of the things we discuss with them is that how many of those heirs are going to move into that house, right? So when you leave that home, one way or the other, 95% of people say, you know what, Mom, I'm going to sell it and we're going to distribute the funds. That's what we're going to do. How many actually in today's world move into that? The other thing that people are concerned about is that they're going to end up, their heirs are going to have a problem, right? There's going to be a bill to pay, all sorts of things. And what we say to people is there's no bill to pay. You never owe more than the house is worth. And that's the same, that's true with the heirs. So they aren't going to end up with a problem. And we always walk through if an heir is left holding that home, what do you do? How do you talk to the reverse mortgage people and move forward and get that home sold? Okay. Probably the last objection we get is people say, oh my gosh, this is risky and dangerous. Somehow I've learned that it takes your house away, the government's going to be involved, all sorts of things. As long as you make your mortgage payment, as long as you make your property tax payment and your insurance, and you keep the house at a minimum standard, no one's going to come and get your house. And you get to live in it until you're 150 years old. This product is designed perfectly for people who are 62 plus, okay? And who wants to be into a loan, a 30-year loan at 62 and still making a mortgage payment at 92 when those dollars are being stretched at that moment, and we all know that. So that's why a reverse was built, that's why it was developed, and that's why we use it. So those are kind of the main objections that I get. I don't know if you have any questions about that before I move on to just the last piece of this. So.
No, I think that you know, that's very clear, and I know on my end we work with, you know, with people like you that you know, we can have strategies that we can make sure that that asset is protected by using certain instruments, or we can create income out of some of that money that's been freed up. There are many things that you can do. It gives you flexibility. It gives you choices. You know, is what it is. I wanted to ask, just kind of in general, what are, you know, things that are going on, new things that might be going on in the reverse mortgage industry that people should know about?
So as of today, just kind of FYI, the FHA came out and actually raised the amount we can access to up over $800,000. So that's actually a new thing today. I saw that in my email. I haven't looked at it in particular. So that gives more access to more money for folks that have maybe a slightly higher value in their home. We have 10,000 people a day turning 62. And we believe over 90% of those people should be looking at that reverse mortgage. If you are 62 plus, you still have you have 50% equity, you're still making a mortgage payment, you're a great candidate. And between the financial planners like Glenn and ourselves, we can show you how we can increase that cash flow, decrease your income taxes, and actually allow you with a greater net worth at the end. So those are the kind of things we look at, and that's how we view the reverse of today. So yeah.
That's very interesting. One of the things I pride myself in, Martha, is being able to talk to people about financial concepts without using financial jargon. And I want to impress upon everyone a phrase that I use, that they're the president, the trustee, the fiduciary of the bank of themselves. So it's in their best interest to at least examine different concepts, and in this case, a reverse mortgage concept that might be to their betterment.
Yes.
And always suggest that people consult with professionals, and that their professionals work like you and I work, that they're not only in their own lane, but they have a bevy of other specialists that they can bring in to give them a better outcome. So that's, you know, really appreciate you being on the phone with us, you know, today, and for wearing red. And this is Martha Shanks from Fairway Mortgage, and we're connected on LinkedIn. You can reach out to either one of us. We'd be happy to help you. And until we see you again, keep your head to the sky. Have a great day, Martha.
Thank you very much. This has been enjoyable.
Appreciate it. Bye now.